I must apologize. I must apologize for that. We had a power cut, and because of that, we went off air. So, but let me say this week, starting tomorrow, this weekend, tomorrow, Thursday, June 24th, will be the first of 4 days of the Jamaican track and field trials, or call it the Jamaica Olympic Trials, if you may. The big race will be the women's 100 meter and maybe the women's 200 meters as well. Sherika Jackson entered for 100, 200, 400. Well, of course, it will be Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce 10.63 personal best this year. Elaine Thompson, the Olympic sprint double champion, at 10.78. So the women's 100 meter, my apology, will be the race of the championships. Joining me tonight on our show, this is Jamaica Olympic Trials preview show and track alerts, is none other than a man who is well known in the track and field circle, Sean Law Grant. Welcome, Sean, to our program. You know, you are just joining us back. I must apologize because we had a power cut earlier. That's something we really don't have control over. But Sean, tomorrow is the first day of 4 Jamaica Olympic Trials 2021. As we all know, there was no Olympic last year. The Olympic is on this year in Tokyo, Japan. We have heard of withdrawals. Um, we have also heard today Veronica Campbell, decorated sprinter Veronica Campbell, the most decorated sprinter for Jamaica of all time. She won, Sean, over 42 medals in Jamaican colors from the CAC, the Character Games, the World Youth, the World Junior Olympic World Championship. Veronica Campbell decided and announced today that she's hanging up her spikes. But let's look first of all into tomorrow, Sean, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. What do you expect of Jamaica Trials 2021, Jamaica Olympic Trials?
Well, you did mention about Broadbell, and well, you didn't call his name, but Broadbell actually withdrawing from the championships, and he's the second best coming into this championships in the 110 meters hurdles. And many persons were expecting a showdown between himself and the big man who ran 13.0 earlier this year. However, that's not going to happen. But the thing about it, you're seeking a medical exemption. He's in the top three in the world. And according to the rules of the J3s, once you're ranked in the top three, you can be granted a medical exemption. And at this present time, he's ranked in the top three in the world. So I'm expecting him to get it. However, that 13.10 seconds that he set earlier this year at the National Stadium, I don't think anyone will run faster than that though, apart from Omar McLeod. I may be wrong. You have Ronald Levy to be there. You have Hansa Parchment also to be there. Hansa Parchment only running, I think, one race before this championships. He had an injury concern and coming out and running 13.4, I think, at that time. And you can't put away Ronald Levy. But I don't think all competitors, apart from Omar McLeod, who has gone under 13.10, will run that 13.10. And if they don't, he's a he's a sure fit in for the Olympic team. That's Broadbell. It was said by his team and that he has a niggle and they don't want to risk it. Not that he couldn't run, but they don't want to risk it getting worse at the championships. And because of that reason that was given by Bruce James and the MVP crew, they withdrew him from the championship and is seeking a medical exemption. You mentioned about Veronica Campbell-Brown because we have to speak about Veronica Campbell-Brown. And a bit disappointing, to be honest. You have to ask the question why today, at least a day before the championship. Was she in
And
Jamaica?
I think should have been at least in the top six, Sean.
I don't know if she would be in the top six, to be honest, but she did run 11.2. In fact, she was coming from 11.7 at the start of the season, coming all the way down. And the last race she ran in Florida, she ran 11.2. So you're thinking that with the experience that Veronica Campbell-Brown has at the championships, she maybe would have actually ran 11.1. But this championships is going to be very unique because it's not like championships gone by when you have 2 or 3 persons going under 11 seconds. I think about 4 or 5 persons can go under 11 seconds at this championship.
Mhm.
So you running a level one, it doesn't really guarantee you a spot on the relay team. It doesn't, like in the past. And I don't know if she had a niggle or anything like that, but it's disappointing because, as you pointed out, over 40 medals from Carifta coming up CSC Games, World Championships. And in fact, I was doing some research before you actually linked me on Veronica Campbell-Brown, because she, as you said, most decorated sprinter Jamaica has ever seen. From Carifta, from
Yes,
World Youth,
yes,
from World
yes,
Juniors, coming
yes.
straight up World Championships, ever seen. Most decorated sprinters. I'm not
Yep.
talking about gold alone. We're talking about gold, silver, bronze, because she has collected medals, relays, 100 and 200 meters. Um, it is disappointing also. Kemar Bailey Cole issued a statement earlier this evening that he is withdrawn from the championship also. You weren't expecting a lot from Kemar Bailey Cole from what you've seen this season. He has
Yes.
had some injury issues, and I think it has affected him, affected his training. So I don't think he was going to give a great performance, but he realized that he could not continue with this. I think he's going to rest and come back for next year. Next year is the World Championships. So he has withdrawn from the championships also. So another withdrawal. Janelle Smith, I thought would have been entered in the championship. I don't think she is not. She's not actually entered in the championship because the last time she had surgery last year, and the last time we saw her run, she ran 11.2. So I was expecting her to come out and give a good performance, but I don't see her name down the contest that we meant 100 meters. So, and if you remember Janelle Smith in 2019, she ran that third leg on the gold medal team that won
Yeah.
that World Championship gold with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce on the back stretch, White on the first leg, and one anchor, the lady you mentioned who's doing one, two,
Yeah.
four. So although a few people are not going to be there, the persons who are going to be there is going to make it extraordinary. You have never seen anything like this at the national trials. Anything.
Yes. And of course, we're getting a comment here that even if she didn't make the team, I wanted to see her to run her last race on Jamaican soil and pull down the curtain. Unfortunately, that is not going to happen. And of course, as I said, Veronica Campbell, had, delivered. She had helped to build brand Jamaica. And, as they always say, Sean, every good thing has to come to an end. And, as I just read the comment just now, there are persons who at least would have wanted to see her in her final race running at home. But of course, we're under, we heard that maybe she had, suffered some little injuries or things like that, and she really did not want to, come into a championship knowing she's hurt, just to have that final race, in front of her home crowd. Yes, I'm disappointed too because she was improving. So these are just some of the comments, Sean, and I have to mention some of the comments. Of course, a comment here coming in also that Rochelle Clayton is injured, and she's one of the athletes, world championship bronze medalist, from last year, not last year, but 2019, because I don't know why I kept saying last year. Broadbell, there you have it. Broadbell is also out. Um, we were hoping to see Broadbelt and Omar McLeod. We know Omar McLeod is
Mm.
on top of his game now. That would have been a very good clash. Asafa Powell, there you have a comment, Sean, on the screen. What happened to Asafa Powell? We're just not sure. But Sean, the women's 100 we mentioned, it's going to be Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Elaine Thompson.
Is
That's a
it?
given.
Is it?
Yes, yes.
Is it? Is it really?
is fit. Once Elaine is fit, the race will be between Elaine and Shelly-Ann Fraser. No
The race
question.
will be
A
no.
fit
The race
Elaine
will be
Thompson.
no. The race will be
The race
between
will be for
all
third place.
oh, no, the race will be between all competitors who are down to compete. It
Yeah.
won't between the two. Let me tell you why. In the past,
Well,
and
I think, Sean, well, I take your point, of course. I'm just thinking there were the two races in that 100 meters final.
you may say three races, but you there's one big race. The fact
Yes.
is, in the past, you have seen individuals coming from early Arctic days coming straight down. You know that one individual, two
Yes.
individuals would win, and they're so far from the rest of the field. So maybe two persons will go under 11 seconds or one, and then
The
everybody run
but
11-0, 11-1.
there you
Five
have it on the
persons.
screen, Sean. The battle is for third place
Well,
for
no, I
everyone
can't.
else.
I can't kill anyone for their opinion. I am just
Yes.
saying you would have to say that according to the times you pointed out, 10.78 seconds for Elaine Thompson-Herah,
Mm-hmm.
10.63 for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, who's not that's now the new national record, erasing
Mm-hmm.
the 10.70 seconds she held with Herah. But with the talent you have all around, you have a young lady out of five persons who have gone under 11 seconds.
Yes.
Four persons of the five have actually run personal best this year. Kemba Nelson has run at personal best maybe two or three times. And if Natasha Morrison, the 10.87 that she has done, that's her personal best also. She ran 10.9, but she ran
Yes.
10.87.
Yes.
I expect, and to be honest, I apart from Kemba, who is training and our assistant coach is here from Oregon, is actually, and that means that she's in business. She's not here on vacation. I expect everybody else to be running faster. Brianna Williams. Now, let's look at Brianna. Brianna 2019 went under 11 seconds. She was peaked for the national championships going under 11 seconds. Now, I'm not saying Brianna will win or come second, but Brianna going under 11 seconds already about three times this year, about a month away from the championships. That means that for me and her coach, the knowledge I have on him, that means she's not peak. So she's going to run faster at the national championships. How fast
Mm-hmm.
she will run, she's still a junior,
Yeah.
but how fast she will run, I don't know. But the 10.97 is going to disappear to maybe a 10.8. Now, that won't actually win according to what you've seen so far this year from the other competitors. But what that tells you is that Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce and Elaine Thompson can't afford to make any mistakes in that 100 meters. So if you make a mistake in that 100 meters, there's somebody right at the clip or your heels ready to go on to take that top spot. It's not like in the past, if you make a mistake, you'll actually just go away from the field. The competition is getting smaller in terms of the times and the margin of times. So because of that, you can't afford to make any mistakes. Yes, 10.63 on that Saturday morning, it looked like a stroll in the park. That's great. And I think that Shelly may run even faster if she gets everything correct. But if she does not at the national championships or Elaine, they don't get it right, there are going to be individuals out there because even Natasha Morrison, who was at MVP, left about 3-4 years ago, went over to GC Foster, over to Coach Maurice Wilson at Sprint Tech, and she gained some weight. She has gone back to MVP. She has taken off the weight. She is now looking like a sprinter, and because of that, she's running personal best. She was good enough at Sprint Tech, but now she's better back at MVP, and because of that, she I think will go even faster than the 10.87 that you saw her do this year. So, and I know that Stephen Francis knows how to prime his athlete. So it's not necessarily a done deal just yet. You're writing it on the paper to say, oh, first, second, and let me just leave this slot open for third. You can't, if you can't have that opinion, fine. But the race has to be run. The race has to be run. And you cannot make any mistakes in the top five, or guess what? You'll be out of the team. You'll be out of the team. And that's just the top five that is have gone under 10 seconds or 11 seconds, pardon me, so far this year. But there are others out there. There are others out there Jacko Jackson, who ran 11.02 seconds on a Saturday morning also at the National Stadium, and she looked beautiful running that. She looked beautiful running that 11.02 seconds, and she looks like she can go even faster. So she's right at the edge to go under 11 seconds. And the question will be posed because you said it, 3 events entered. What event Jacko Jackson will do? I don't know. I'm not her coach. I'm not the athlete. But I'm thinking, this is my thought. If it is that I want an Olympic gold medal, what's the best event for me to run? Is it the 400 meters, which is my pet event? Am I sure to get a gold there? Or is it the 4x1, which I anchored to get a gold at the World Championship? Which one is it for me to get? And I'm thinking, it's my thought, that maybe she wants to make the 100 meters team, not run individual, the 4x1 team, and then run the 400 meters because she's good to run the 1 and run the 4, and maybe run a 50. If you run a 50 seconds in the 400 meter, that will give you a top 3 spot. So, and she's good enough to do that. So I'm thinking that's the 2 events that she will do. I'm not saying that she's going to automatically fall start in the 200 meters because you're down to it. You're down to contest it, so you have to show up for it. So maybe she'll slip out of the blocks. You don't know. Anything can happen. But I'm looking at those 2 events for her to compete in. Foster, you gonna leave me? Well, guess what? If you're gonna leave me, fine. I'll continue. The fact is that you have the 5 we spoke about, but you have others outside of the 5. You can't forget about Natalia White. Natalia White, MVP international under her role. She I saw in 2 races and she looked good coming down, and she's getting faster. She is one of the persons on the outside that can make a challenge. Yeah, for that relay spot, because we mentioned 5 that have gone under to 11 seconds. We mentioned about Jacko Jackson, she's the 6th. And
so I must apologize to our viewers. Again, we're just having some technical difficulties with our internet connection. But, you know, we're really having some technical difficulties, Sean, with internet. And again, I have to apologize to my viewers. But you have said a lot of things, Sean, about the women's 100, the men's 400, the men's 100. Do we take persons to the Olympics? Do we or we don't take persons to the Olympics?
Of course you do. Of course you do. You have a young oblique Seville who's ready to make his mark. Johan Blake, who has been training, have seen him up in the hills when it was pandemic time last year, doing the background work. He actually is training extremely hard. And I don't know what he can do, though, to be honest. He's not the Johan Blake of past, of 2011, 2012, 2013. But guess what? He still has his name, still has the ambition, still have the drive. But you have to see and wait and see what.
Yeah, of course, I agree with the youngsters. Yeah, of course, I fully agree with the youngsters.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I mean, we still haven't had a sub 10.
Johan Blake is right there. Let's just say that. You see, let me shift from Johan Blake because I'm not going to comment too much on Johan. I'm just a wait and see man when it comes to Johan. And he's in a new camp. So let's see what they can do with Michael Frater, the coach. But the thing is, for Oblique Seville, I normally wait about 2.5 years when someone goes to a racers club, a youngster. I think that Coach Glenn Mills, he takes his time to develop athletes. He doesn't rush them, but he's one of the few individuals who have gone there and have put a personal best within a year. So Oblique Seville is maybe different than the rest. He had some injury issues early this season, but I think he will also produce another personal best. I saw him compete
sub 10 sub 10 coming at the trials though. Albert Williams said sub 10 coming at trials.
But by who? I mean, you'd expect that Johan Blake will lead the field. And I think Johan Blake will deliver sub 10. I think Mr. Blake, and I will put Mr. on his name, will deliver a sub 10 at the national trials.
Oh,
Simple.
so men's 400, Sean. What's happening to the men's 400? We saw we're at the U.S. Collegiate Championships. It was 43.
Yeah.
You know,
And that
many
43.
Americans 44, 43. We are just what 45.05, I think.
That 43 turned into a 44, and he actually made the U.S. team. He was the third person going across the line, so he's going to the Olympic Games. But for Rogers, but guess what? I'm disappointed, to be honest. At least 4 or 5 years ago, when you watched the boys' championships, you watched Class 1, Nathan Allen coming second to Donkey Man, and coming second the following year to Bloomfield. And you said, oh, 45 seconds and 44 seconds the winning time. And Nathan Allen run 45 seconds 2 years straight. He said, okay, for the 400 meters going strong. We're going to have a 4.
I don't think this comment on the screen, Sean. I don't know if you're seeing the comment here on the screen. I don't think this time I don't think we'll see anything close to that. I don't know. I don't know if they're thinking about the men's 100.
I don't know what that. I don't need to comment on that. I don't.
You know, but
I said no. She will not run 9.99.
You're on the men's 400. Kobe going to run low 44. You think that's a comment from Samuels?
Kobe has been looking good in training, running 300 meters, and that's the thing. So they put him out to run the 400 meters recently and ran 45 seconds, season's best. I mean, recently over a month ago. But I don't know, to be honest. He has to run 44.90 in that qualifying time for the Olympic Games. Now, 3 persons have already the qualifying time: Bloomfield, Nathan Allen, and the young man from GC Foster College, the national champion.
Is he that young? You're saying he's young because you're thinking about your age and my age?
No, young in the sport. Young in the sport. Can I say that? Young in the sport. He didn't do it much at high school.
In the sport. Yeah.
Because he left from Knox College and went to GC Foster. So he was found at Knox College and then GC Foster. But out of the 3, I don't think any's healthy. I don't think any's healthy. To be honest, Bloomfield has had some emotional problems, lost his mother. And that's a huge blow. He also had some injury concerns, but mentally that's a huge blow. Physically, he's having some issues. Oh gosh, are you seeing me?
Yes. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead, Sean. You can. Yes.
All right, Nathan Allen. Nathan is actually had some injury concerns. The last time we saw him out, he false started in that 400 meters. So I'm a bit worried with Nathan Allen. And the young man I'm referring to from GC Foster College, he has had a stress fracture, and he had to do some rehabilitation last year. So he's not 100% as yet. But hopefully they want to get him there for the Olympic Games. So he's not going to be 100% just yet. But out of those 3 that have the qualifying time from 2019, none is actually ready to run 44 seconds.
Yes.
We saw him run at the J3's Joey meet, Destiny meet, running 45 seconds 1 week, then run 46 seconds the next week. Yeah. But going back to Kobe and going back to that man, that young, can I call him young man?
Well, yes, you can call him young man because you're you're talking about okay.
Christopher Taylor has always been exceptional. His body has gone to 44 before, and the question mark is around the camp itself. Now the camp is known for a sprint camp more so than a 400 meters camp, but he has improved somewhat. He has taken some time, but I'm a bit concerned though with the camp with Taylor. But I'm just going to wait and see, to be honest. Maybe he'll come and deliver 44 seconds, and I'll be extremely happy if he does that. But I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
maybe we are going to be, be, you know, be accused of, spending too much time with the men, 100 and 400, for example, because nothing now go on, as them would say in a Jamaican term, Sean. Nothing now go on in the 100 and the
I,
400.
I,
Let's look quickly because we're running out of time. Let's look
I don't want
quickly.
to put it like that. Look. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's look quickly on. I have to be careful how I say these things in a shot, but let's look quickly on. Let me not say it, but the women's 400, Stacey-Ann Williams, Cherokee, Young, Chris and Garden, and of course, Sherika Jackson. Is she going to run the 4? And there's also Stephanie-Ann McPherson. Women's 400. 3 will represent Jamaica in the 400 at the World Championships. Stacey-Ann Williams, the fastest this year with 50.34. Chris and Garden Powell, 50.84. Cherokee Young at 50.85. No, Sean, 2 college ladies. Stephanie-Ann McPherson has been there for a while, has proven herself. She hasn't broken that 51-second barrier yet. We spoke about 3 persons with 50.3, 50.8, etc. How do you see this women's 400 turning out?
Well, if Sherika Jackson actually runs this 400 meters, she'll win it. Even if she runs 100 meter before, I think she will win it because she has been working on her speed and the 400 meters now. As Coach Goldberg would normally say, that speed kills, and she has been working on that, and she's a strong individual. So I'm not worried about her with that. But Stephanie-Ann McPherson, the last race we saw her run was a different Stephanie-Ann McPherson, which I'm happy. And I think they're working on some things with her because she's a laid-back 400-meter athlete, and that she loves to run on, and that's her thing. She relaxes for the first 250 meters. The last
Kira is saying that Stephanie will win.
No problem. Coming around the bend, she used as a slingshot to come around. What we saw of her the last time out was
Maurice says
measure the race. She didn't.
Yeah.
Maurice said.
I was just reading a comment where Maurice is saying the former St. Elizabeth Stets athlete, not former St. Elizabeth Stets, but former Stets athlete, St. Elizabeth Technical, Stacey-Ann Williams will win. And these are just some of the comments coming in, Sean. Of course, we really appreciate our viewers contributing to our show, contributing to trackalerts.com. As always, we really appreciate them. We try to read as much of the comments as possible, to let them, feel that, their contribution is welcome. Unfortunately, we won't be able to read every single comment. Some, Sean, we may just have to put up on the screen and, not going to find the time to read them. But of course, we welcome all the comments from all our viewers. Jean Sutherland, you would know that name, Sean. Big supporter, big supporter of Track Alerts. Yes. So,
I was just reading something.
As I said, we just have a couple of minutes to go. But we can't end without touching the women's 100-meter hurdles. Some fireworks. Fireworks is expected there. Brittany Anderson, 12:58 this season. Danielle Williams, former world champion, 12:66. Akira Nugent. When you're talking about young, Sean, when you're talking about young, here are the young people. Brittany Williams, Brittany Anderson, Akira Nugent, Shamara Williams, Daze Freeman, and of course, Danielle Williams, Megan Tupper. Those two, they are not 30 yet. So, young field, women's 100-meter hurdles, Sean, is it going to be the college ladies again? Brittany running very good.
All right. Akira Nugent, she just entered in 2 events, as she did at the NCAA finals or NCAA's, the 101 hurdles, which I'm more high. But this is not NCAA's at all. So I don't know if she'll do both though. To be honest, I wouldn't tell her to do both. But although she's one of the
Mm-hmm.
fastest Jamaican women, she's in the top 10 for this year in the 100 meters. But I expect her to do well, but she's under some pressure, and let me tell you why. All the college athletes are under pressure at this present time because it's exam time at the present time at
Mm-hmm.
college. So when they finish the NCAA's, a lot of them have been taking exams right after this week. That's why some of them are arriving today and maybe tomorrow morning because even Akira posted on her Instagram that she was doing homework or assignment during the airport. So they're
Mm-hmm.
under pressure that way. So I don't know if the college athletes will actually perform as they should. But let's
Mm-hmm.
hope for the best. Brittany Anderson will come in as a favorite, as you pointed out, that 5 that she ran, and she's getting better. I mean, we're happy finally to see Brittany Anderson pulling all the stops and doing what she has to do. Ance Williams,
Mm-hmm.
second the best coming in, but she knows when to peak, how to peak. If you remember 2019, and when she had to peak to perform outside of Jamaica, she did just that. Her coach, Lennox Graham, knows how to peak her. So she will coming in, not giving up the title or not want to let the youngsters take over, not at all. So she'll be fighting with Brittany Anderson for that top spot. But Shamira Williams
Mm-hmm.
is the athlete I'm looking out for. She is a part of the elite track and field club being coached by the man they call journalist, Renata Walcott. She's part of that crew. And I saw her run 11.3 earlier this season, 11 in the flat 100. And she has improved her 100 meters. She has improved her speed. Her technique is good going
Mm-hmm.
over the hurdles. She has ran 12.8. And I think that she'll get better and peak at the right time. She
Mm-hmm.
has a brilliant coach with her. So I'm looking out for her actually to maybe upset the apple cart in terms of that top
And,
three.
and we just quickly move into the women's 400-meter hurdles, and of course that will also be another good race. You know, and Leah Nugent very good race. Her last race was a very good race. I think she ran 55:34 in that race. Women's 400-meter hurdles, only three of that four will make it to Tokyo. Another good race, you see.
Yeah, another epic race, another very good race. Rhonda White will come through on top, many may say. Um, Jellyfish will come through second, and Chan Salmon, who has run 54 seconds, based in Texas. Tanya Booth for the Bailey, her coach, she is expected to actually come to win the race. She has run 54, but guess what? I think that it's a
Mm-hmm.
race between those three. If you're mentioning races before, Leah Nugent running 55 seconds has looked good, has represented Jamaica in the past. She's going to be all in the mix. But you mentioned someone who actually gained a bronze at the World Championships in 2019, Rochelle Clayton, who has had some injury concerns. And she hasn't looked that great so far this season.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen her in a while. I don't know what she'll produce. I'm not looking
And and uh,
anything major
and
from her, to be honest.
my understanding is that she has also withdrawn from the trials and not at her best. But
Mm.
Sean, in closing, because we have all good things, as I mentioned earlier, has to come to an end. The JTRA announces its decision not to pursue a letter of no objection given by the Ministry of Health and Wellness for 500 spectators to attend the trial. And it's actually the
Five
JTRA's
thousand,
ministry,
5,000,
5,600. Yes. And it's to attend the JTRA's Ministry of Sports Supreme Ventures National Senior and Junior Championships. And of course, in a statement tonight, the JTRA said after further review and consultation with government and non-government stakeholders, it, it was decided that all arrangements could not be implemented in time. Hence, spectators will not be accommodated. And of course, there you have it, Sean. And as I said, all good thing has to come to an end, and it's just one of those things that we have to end here. But again, I must apologize for the internet connection earlier, and also the poor outage that we had at the start of the program. We will do this over again tomorrow night with our review show of day one, and we'll be with you every night during the championships at the same time at 9 p.m. Jamaica time. You can join us for a review of the championships here on Track Alerts TV on YouTube, Track Alerts on Facebook. Thanks again to our viewers. You know, we couldn't have done this without our viewers. Thanks again for joining, and we'll see you. Thanks, Sean, for joining at a very, very late, having gotten a very late notice. We really appreciate having you on our program. And until then, stay safe. Thank you.